So, like a couple of years ago, we had a bunch, or three actually, movies about 9/11, which I'll preface by saying I never saw any of those, primarily just because I didn't really have any desire to, but I mean, they certainly may have their artistic merit, they certainly may be good movies. I can't say I've heard increasingly damning things about them, but those, I almost think back to, I want to say it was like '03 or '04 that VH1, hot off the heels of their hit, miniseries I Love the '80s, decided to do a retrospective on I Love the '90s. And watching Kathy Griffith and the guy from The State, I forget his name, Michael Ian Black, reminisce about things that happened 4 years ago.
And I think they made light of that on that show.
They might have, at the very least, there was a Mad TV sketch or a sketch about it where Kathy Griffin. I'm sick of talking about Kathy Griffin. Anyway, so I kind of liken those movies to that. That it's just so recent, it's just so new that there's not really any retrospective you can get from it, because I don't need a movie. I mean, it's not like for example, Apollo 13. I was 20 years away from being born when the real life events of Apollo 13 happened. So I mean, that was a movie that for one, I, just like probably every other person in America, thought was a decent movie, and it was really easy to get wrapped up in. And obviously, there were people who saw it, who lived and experienced the real thing. But for me, it was new. For 9/11, I mean, there was less than 10 years ago. That particular day, I can still remember many, many, many vivid details. Whereas yesterday, I can't remember that much from it. So I don't get a whole lot from a film being made about that.
And I don't particularly want to revisit that. Not necessarily because of the extreme, horror of it. I just don't think. I don't think there's really a story to be told in that.
Right.
Other than maybe, that couldn't be told in any other type of film. There's people that were tragically killed. That the loved ones they left behind, make sure you say I love you every time you part, and blah, 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 not to make light of it, but, et cetera, et cetera. And I get that already. I don't, I don't think I want to see that, moral, for lack of a better description, presented in
set with that context.
Because I don't think we have a movie about the Oklahoma City bombing, do we?
No. I mean,
Columbine
maybe
massacre
a
yet.
TV movie. No. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, especially for that Columbine. I mean, it's been over 10 years now. I mean, even recently, or more recently, there was the Virginia Tech shooting.
Right.
People aren't scrambling to make movies about that just because, I mean, the subject matter obviously isn't.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, certainly not as inappropriate as, making a joke about how a zombie can ride horseback better than Superman, but yeah, it's just that
one. Yeah.
And it really seems like it's very subjective in terms of what is appropriate and what is not. I mean, here we have